Proud of you.
Oh. People are gonna hear that and then just be like,
That's a lot of proud of yourself.
just spread yourself. Well, Tanya Chesser, hello. Welcome to A Conversation With.
Yeah.
We are, this week, slowly being more professional.
Are we?
Slowly.
Tell me.
Well, you actually have a theme.
True. So
The
it's
theme.
very clear with Sam and Tim. It was just
You have,
chats.
you have a theme.
Yeah.
You have some questions.
Sam did say he sent you questions. I just had to rock up and talk. Poor guy.
So today, Tanya,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about relationships.
Yeah. Don't think I didn't see the youth leaders mocking me on your little
Yeah.
Rachel Lane. I saw you today. Oh, typical.
It's funny because I gave her two options. And she went with neither of them and really pushed for the relationship one. So it's going to be the single guy.
I see where this is going.
Tanya would. So
Elvis, I'm coming after you. Elvis, I'm coming after you. This stuff like shapes your life in a huge way. And then the person you choose to marry, not to put the pressure on Nick, given you're heading into that phase of your life, is the single most important decision you'll make after following Jesus. It's just like you're with this person for the rest of your life. You want to make a good one.
Yeah, that's right. You don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of one you don't want to really get wrong.
You really, it's just, yeah, nah.
You're married. For those that don't know,
Married.
if you don't,
I look like a child, but I'm quite old. Actually, parenthood has aged me up, okay? I
don't think so. You and Sam don't look like you're over 30.
You reckon?
Nah.
When I work in the hospital, I do get patients ask me, like, so, when are you graduating med school? I'm like, 7 years ago.
Is that a height thing?
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
That, because for me, I get all the time, like
Yeah,
constantly.
the Russian. Oh, we got a beard now.
Well, that's
petitioning to get rid of it.
I know. What does he just not like it? Is he finally
I
just?
have to talk to him because I'm just like, he just looks like Nick to me and sounds like it's gotta go.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Then we know the truth.
But yes, no, I have been married. We've been married for, it'll be 9 years at the end of this year, so 8.5.
Well done. Christians normally they love the short dating
They do.
and they love the long engagements, or they keep it all pretty short.
They will keep it all pretty short.
Like the averages are probably in total, like dating engagement, probably like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because you date for a year.
But even out there in the real world, they'll be like engaged for a few years. So Christians do it like at super speed. Now I see young people and I don't know how to say things to them. So I say things like, that's lit.
It's lit.
Oh, I love your shoes, they're lit. You get him around people that know him and knows how much he loves the Lord, and he feels like he can just like unleash silly Sam on, and he's very silly.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You would question his credentials.
I mean, no, you wouldn't, Hans.
Hans.
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
But you would. I can think of that I've watched date in high school, but you could see that they had their heads like sorted about how they wanted to spend their life.
Yes.
But if you talk to them, they would tell you that it was hard dating in high school.
And the common denominator with all of those people is major, like, accountability.
Yeah, huge. Like Sam and I mentored like someone who was in a high school relationship, and she was so good at.
You can say who, like, we know who it is.
Like Holly and Jake, amazing couple.
This is the third week in a row they have made it onto the conversation.
You're famous. Because she didn't want to be dating in high school, but she met her soulmate while she was in high school. And I think that, not soulmate, I take that back. She met her future husband.
Well, they're engaged now.
They are soulmates. But I just think the
Congratulations.
word soulmate is unhelpful in this context.
It's also uncomfortable. It's just I think it's a word that needs to just get.
It has too much meaning on like two souls, like mysteriously. Like I just think there's so much more to a relationship than chance that you met your soulmate.
Yeah.
This
I think, particularly for guys, because I've talked about this with Tim. I think I like the old school mentality around
I like anything old school.
a guy, you know, a guy going out of his way to like, hey, I like you. Let's grab coffee, or just like saying like, hey, let's grab coffee. Just like, you know, putting it on the line, putting his ego aside, and doing that. Can't say I've actually done that too many times anyway, but
like I literally started thinking that a second before you said it. I was like,
have you actually
someone that's so pro this. I can't remember the last time you've asked a girl out for coffee. On that Monique, Sam and I were talking because I was kind of like picking his brains, and I think one thing we said was it would be so great, and this is probably more for your senior high school young adults than it is for your junior teens parents before you think of giving terrible advice. Developing the ability to have friendships with the opposite sex is such an important part of your singleness, and if you only know how to have relationships with the opposite sex through having romantic relationships, then I think have a think about what that tells you about your life and what your needs are, and really that might mean that you're not finding some of those things in God. Not to super spiritualize it, but it's like you want in your singleness to be able to have healthy relationships with people of the opposite sex. Same in marriage, but marriage comes with like a few more boundaries and things and a few more guidelines as to how you do that. But when you're single, you can be friends with like anyone really, but I think it's such a good time to have healthy friendships with the opposite sex. And even the coffee things, I do think, and Nick, this might go against your philosophy, but I do think that young adults could be having more coffees, even if you don't have an attraction or a like crush or anything like that. Even if you're in like the really pre-stage, but you see someone, you're like, they seem like an interesting person, not interesting girl I want to date or interesting guy I want to date, but they seem like an interesting person, or they seem like someone who doesn't know a lot of people in the youth or church. Like just going, hey, let's hang out for coffee, but it's hard because people go, ooh.
Don't be the person that.
Are you 2 years old? That's what Abigail does. She goes, ooh.
Like, just be cool.
Yeah.
Two people having coffee.
Yes.
You guys, like legends, you don't need to go around telling everyone, or you don't need to like spread
Koinonia.
Koinonia. Just like, and if that person decides to talk to you and say, hey, I was hanging out with this person, I really like, then great. But otherwise, just let it be.
Yeah. And it's a God-given desire, I believe. We are born with this desire for companionship. So I'm not in any way paying it, like I'm married. I'm not in any way downing the companionship thing, because I reckon like 95-99% of us are born with that need for that kind of companionship. But there are people who are satisfied in following God without that marriage, but you'll notice they're very good at having great friendships and relationships. But so I think that's the other reason we date, and that's the other reason I'm passionate about it, because I do believe God really cares about who we date. Like he really cares, and we should be dating with marriage in mind. And that doesn't mean that you can't break up. Like break up if it's wrong. That's the whole point. Like I'd rather you break up with someone if you start dating them and it's not right. But like God really cares about this area, so it is something you can pray about, and it is something you should talk to your leaders about.
Because your leaders, people that aren't like emotionally invested in the other person that way, will see things
that you can't see. 100%. And Tim was great to talk to, because I could see this depth to Sam and his love for God. So you've got guys that love church, right? And then you've got guys that love God. The guys that love church love hanging out, and that's great. But if you're a girl or a guy who's like really serious about your relationship with God, find someone who's really serious about their relationship with God. And in the moments where Sam wasn't being a little silly head around his friends, he would be talking to me about his, like, what he'd read in the Bible, or I knew that he'd like signed up for a Bible study class outside of church. I was like, Bible study, what a nerd. But it was like he was going to Bible study fellowship during the week and all of this stuff. And so then I was just really conflicted, because I was like, you're so like, you're the funny guy everywhere we go, but then I know that you've got this depth to you. So then talking to people like Tim, who was like, no, like every conversation I've had with him, he's he's a solid young guy. Go for it. And I was just like, alright. But then I didn't. I waited. I didn't. Because I'm an Indian. In Corinthians, it just talks about do not be yoked with unbelievers. And the reason they say that is because it's like, first of all, carrying different things. Like imagine Nick and I standing up together and then having something over our neck. The pole's gonna be like, it's just not gonna work.
You've preached on this and used this exact analogy.
Because you were so much taller than me. And so that just doesn't work because first of all, we're totally different heights and it would hurt he'd have to carry more of the weight.
Yeah.
But also, if you think about it, like if I'm a non-Christian and I want to pursue this in life and you're a Christian and you're pursuing God, like how does that work when you're like tied together? So it's so clear about that. But then you said like, it goes even, like I would take that further into your Christian walk. And I'm just, to the young person here who's listening, who really loves God and you see yourself serving God for the rest of your life in ministry, find someone who has that same passion.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. As Elvis would say, good morning, good evening, good night. This has been...
Is that really what Elvis said?
It's just every week. He just started doing it now. This is the thing. I have a problem with like people will do things, and I'm like,
you take them on.
I'm like, keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's funny.
Yeah, well, because I enjoy the hand sanitizer.
And sanitizer.
And the other one. That Patrick said.
Quarantine.
Yeah, that one. That's funny.
That's funny. That's an ongoing game.
Yeah, I like that.
Gotta pick the right one.
You're funny, guys. You guys.
Hilarious. But thank you for watching. Link down below for the full podcast, full audio on Spotify and Apple. Hopefully Apple has it.
Come on, Apple.
But thanks for joining us this week. God bless you. Peace out.